This all went down just a few months ago. I was working the late shift at Tony's Pizzeria, and it was one of those stormy nights that makes you question every decision you've ever made. The phone rang, and it was just a typical customer on the line, ordering a large pepperoni pizza with extra cheese. So far, so good, right? But here's where things take a dark turn. The address they gave me was in the middle of nowhere, a remote, run-down farmhouse. Now, I've delivered to some strange places in my time, but this one, it was like something out of a horror movie. The GPS led me down a long, winding road surrounded by dense woods, and I felt like I was driving straight into a scene from a nightmare. The storm was picking up, rain lashing against the windshield, and thunder rumbling through the dark, cloud-covered sky. It was like the world was conspiring to make this delivery feel even more eerie. Finally, I reached the destination. It was a sight that sent shivers down my spine, even before I stepped out of my car. The house was old and dilapidated, with boards that creaked under every step, and windows half covered by tattered, weather-beaten curtains. It was the kind of place that could give anyone the creeps. But I needed that tip, so I gathered the pizza and summoned the courage to approach the door. The door itself was a horror story waiting to unfold. It creaked open slowly, almost as if it had a life of its own. Inside, I saw a flicker of movement. A hand reached out to take the pizza, but I couldn't see the person's face. All I saw was a glimpse of fingers pale as a ghost's. The customer took the pizza and handed me a crumpled $20 bill. It was an oddly large tip for a simple pizza delivery. I tried to offer the change, but the hand just shook its head and mumbled something, a low, raspy voice barely more than a whisper. "Keep the change," they said, and it sent a chill down my spine. As I turned to leave, the door creaked open a bit wider, and I noticed something on the floor. I bent down to pick it up, and it was a piece of paper, a handwritten note. It read, "Help me. They're coming for me. Don't tell anyone you saw me." The note was wrinkled and damp from the storm, as though someone had desperately clutched it in their hand. My heart raced as I read those words. The storm outside matched the turmoil within me, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I had just stumbled upon something truly sinister. The darkness inside the house seemed to thicken, and the air was heavy with a sense of foreboding. My curiosity got the better of me, and I dared to peer inside the house. But it was dark, pitch black, and I couldn't make out a single detail. My heart pounded in my chest as I left the money and the note on the doorstep. I rushed back to my car, my mind filled with the haunting message of that note. Rain pelted against the windows, and thunder roared in the distance. It was as if the very elements were warning me to stay away. I called the police as I drove back to the pizzeria, my voice trembling as I recounted the entire experience, every eerie detail. The police took it seriously, and they immediately dispatched a team to the mysterious farmhouse. But here's where the story takes an even darker turn. It turns out that the house had a chilling history. It was known as the House of Vanishing, a place where people had disappeared without a trace. The person who had ordered the pizza had been missing for months, and now they suspected he had fallen victim to some sinister forces. As I sat in the pizzeria, I couldn't help but replay the events in my mind. The storm outside grew more intense, thunder echoing like a warning from the beyond. The note, those chilling words, still haunted my thoughts. I wondered if I had been watched from the shadows of that eerie farmhouse. I couldn't shake the feeling that I had narrowly avoided a truly terrifying situation, and it still haunts my nightmares.